Hi, Ike Zero, and got my Sketchcraft and my buddy Sean from Fandom Empire. Welcome to our house on the internet, Sean.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, dude. How you been, man?
Busy. We went through a move here, and it's just moving is insanity. Just never want to move again.
Yeah, I remember texting you during some of that, and little kids and everything. Sounds like a nightmare.
Moving to a cave, huh, fandom? Just in time for the new series. Thought you'd get the whole family excited, get them to a cave.
I'll go to the cave and watch it, and they can stay somewhere else.
I am having an allergy attack, which is a great time. So, what can you do? We'll I'll just do this on camera, and you guys could deal with it. I don't care. But anyways, yeah. So really quickly, let's deal with a little bit of the Kenobi stuff before we get on to the KOTOR news, which is pretty fascinating. I don't know what all of it is. I just know like the general gist of it. So I'm can't wait to hear those like details. But yeah, this leaked onto the internet today. I'm not sure what it came from. It looks like it could be stuff for packaging. It almost looks like an end cap to what you would see at like a Toys R Us if there had been one around still. I don't know what the lineage of this is or anything like that. But I got sent it about 15 times today. And every time I said, where does it come from? I don't know. Got it on the internet. So there it is. But it's not necessarily the most exciting thing of all time. If you've been around the block with Star Wars before, this is pretty much what you would have, I think, expected to eventually happen.
It's a Walmart end cap. That's how I look at it. You know? Yeah. Not a bad one, like a good one.
No, it's a good one.
Know?
Yeah. I'm going to get it tattooed on my back. But Star Wars is going to be in Old English. It's going to be cool.
Right. Vader looks a lot like the Revenge of the Sith when Vader comes up, kind of thing. Like
like he's really laying down, and they just kind of like tilted it.
Like they didn't just rotate the camera. Like but,
right.
Sure.
It makes sense. Yeah, we're
the art that they actually had for Revenge of the Sith and the packaging and stuff.
Yeah. We were talking before the show about how Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader looks a little bit weird, and we were talking about just like faces and symmetry and stuff like that. I don't know why me and Rob were talking about what we do. Just deal with it. But the Revenge of the Sith Darth Vader was the first time they were able to make a symmetrical Darth Vader mask, and it's kind of fascinating because it's perfect, but it doesn't look like Darth Vader in certain ways. It's not my favorite Star Wars Darth Vader costume I've ever seen from any of the films. Love the movie a lot, but still just looks a little bit, it being perfect, it's not the same. And I'm not sure exactly what they did for like Rogue One, but it works. It looks more like Darth Vader to me. I don't know why. I'm not smart enough to be able to take that apart and figure it out, but it definitely works. So yeah, I was like whatever about this when I first saw it. I thought like his eye looks a little weird compared to the other eye, like with the one being bright and the one being in the dark. But this is pretty metal. Like I need this on the side of a van, and I'll just like go around being like, yeah, that's my Star Wars van. Look at that. Looks like something you would have seen in the 70s on the side of a van anyway, early 80s.
Vader's still one hand in it, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Got the one-hander.
What do you think his other hand's doing?
Mods, Jason. Mods.
I always promised Padme my left robot hand would be for her. So never touched another person with it. Only the other hand.
He's got Forlom's head in the other hand. It's one of the most shadow.
Romantic things I've ever heard in my whole entire life. But yeah, and then yesterday I did like a really short. I tried the YouTube Shorts function, and just dropped really quickly that within the next week we should have some pretty cool Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi footage. So I can't get into the specifics. That's frustrating. I'm sorry. Just is what it is. Got to protect my my cats that are sources, that are Max's cats, that are all my sources. Got to protect them all. I can't let you know which one of those cats told me what that is, but it's going to be cool. And on a side note too, Johannes is asking, we're going to see Dex and Obi-Wan Kenobi? I don't believe so. But a book, I guess a book blurb came out, and in that or a sample chapter or whatever, and then it's Obi-Wan and Dex, and you get more Dexter Jetster. So if you need more Dexter Jetster in your life, that you can get it there. But I don't think it's in the. I don't think Dexter.
How the
times
changed, Jason. You know, that came out. It was just a big complaint. 50s diner isn't Star Wars. It's ridiculous. It's corny. Kind of just all the complaints. You know, like Red Letter Media jumped in on it. Now it's like I miss all of it. Like they're missing their childhoods, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I actually really like Red Letter Media stuff. Generally speaking, I find it entertaining for like what it is, but they're not going to ever like anything Star Wars. So you know what I mean. Dexter Jetster could be the best character of all time, and I don't think they're gonna find it. But
his acting was good.
Their Nerd Crew skits are pretty funny though. Those do make me laugh usually. But yeah.
Very cool.
But anyways, yeah. So
okay. Let's do it. Let's get the good stuff.
Yeah. So Sean is going to be spoiling Halloween for us today.
By the way, half Halloween, May 1st, halfway to Halloween. That's a new holiday. Half Halloween.
Is it that's half Halloween?
Yep. So you know, that's the day.
Okay, so you can just watch half of the movie and then watch the other half in October,
like a Netflix series.
Yeah, but Sean had some Halloween scoops in the past that were pretty fire, gotta say.
Man, I don't know how you deal with what you get at times, because like Star Wars is a billion times bigger than Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
And like we report on something and we were like bang on for kills, but you start saying stuff that people don't like and they just jump all over you. It's like, hey, we're just telling you like it is. And but like Star Wars is just so much more polarizing, and I definitely give you guys credit. And by the way, I just want to say while I'm here, I wish that you guys were doing this show back when the sequels were actually happening, because the show that you guys all put on is it's hard to find a show where people are actually being truthful and themselves, and not just spewing you the BS or taking stories and twisting them for clicks. And you guys do a good job for a lot of people here.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. It's also
feel
why
free to
everybody
disagree with them in the comments.
In the comments, let him have it, you guys. Like really, I mean, give me a break. Let him have it. Actually, let Rob
I love it when they go. I love when they go. He's the worst. Rob's the worst. He's ruining the whole show. You know,
they're not wrong. No,
they're not wrong.
I'm kidding. You don't ruin the show.
He can't do anything about it though. I'm embedded. I'm locked in. You can't.
Yeah, I gave him mod rights to the streaming service. For the first time this week, he came in and he put himself in. Like I have to like put people into the video. He put himself in for the first time and he said, I can do this. I said, you can't, Rob.
And I brought the Barthy burgers. What do we got, Sean? What you gonna do? What you gonna tell us?
Let me ask you before we move off Kenobi, because I've already seen people taking shit it. You don't think it's a trailer, right? Because I've already seen it a bunch of places. Oh, the trailer's coming, and from what I understand,
no, it's not. Don't see. You deserve it. You deserve it. You deserve that Jack in the Box. No, I don't think it's a trailer, because if it was a trailer, my sources would have called it a trailer. Sources said footage. And they were, I don't know why. And for the record, I don't know why. So I can't like fuck this up for anybody. Like for all I know, the footage is going to go to Entertainment Weekly or Empire or something like that. It's going to pop up. Like, remember the really horrible Book of Boba Fett clip they put out? That was just like, why did you pick that for your clip? Oh, but then I saw the show and I realized why. But basically, like, it was a really bad clip that they put out. But they did put out a clip of just Fennec, Shan, and Boba walking down the street talking. And so I don't know what to expect, but if I was to extrapolate from that, I just kind of expect maybe Kenobi and Owen meeting in Anchorhead or something like that. That seems like something that would be a pretty good clip because you got like two classic characters. You got Obi-Wan in it, and there's like intrigue. Like, why do they got to be so sneaky? Is he cheating on Beru? What is it? You know? And
It's not going to help things, Jason, if it's just Reva in the clip.
yeah,
it's not going to help
Reva.
the bullshit rumors, you know.
Yeah,
because I'm always waiting for Lucasfilm to kind of put one step in the screw themselves over hole a little bit for no reason, just to cause their own trouble. You know, a little self-sabotage.
I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but I know what everybody's going to be mad about. I know what everybody's going to be shitting their pants about diarrhea and going, got toilet paper. I have to rub my ass on the carpet. I know what it is. And it's not that. Trust me. At the end of it, it's not that. It's going to be something completely fucking different and trivial. Because this is all trivial, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, I take Star Wars very seriously. But there does come a point where shit's kind of trivial. And but watch. So what I'm trying to say is, like, if your grift is to pretend to be mad about one thing, don't invest yourself in that one. They made it for you. Don't worry. It's coming, and you'll have a good time. And it shouldn't be an issue, but it will be.
Obi-Wan shits where he eats in the cave, right? Like, just
yeah,
that's it. Okay, well, sad.
Well, there is that one scene where he's with Tika and they're in the cave, and he like slowly unwraps all of her Jawa bandages, and then he pulls out the two little lights on her eyes, and they're just two baby blues under there, and then he says I love you, and she says, kill me, and he's like, why? And he's like, because I am a clone of Satine. Kill me. She wants to die. And then he kills Satine again. And so there you go. Anyways, yeah. So how excited are you for the old Republic? Are you like Sean, are you like a huge Old Republic guy? As kind of my question.
Yeah, man. I'm a geek. It's the I'm ashamed to admit if you don't count Zelda, the first non-Zelda RPG game I ever played in my life. Was blown away by it. For me, it was also like the most immersive Star Wars game at the time. Like, I don't think anything else put you into the Star Wars universe like that game did.
Wait, was Wind Waker your first Zelda game?
I don't even remember. It was for the OG Nintendo.
Oh, so you didn't play an RPG from NES till Xbox?
Correct. Yeah, it just sort of completely fell into that. Just all of Final Fantasy. Yeah. So it was a very like surreal experience because I had no recent RPG experience, and it just I still think it tells one of the better Star Wars stories that are out there. And I thought they were done. Didn't think it was ever going to happen again. And then when we were doing our old show a few years ago, we started to get word of the fan game. I think it was Aperion that was doing it. And it got shut down in 2018, back half 2018. And the reason it got shut down wasn't just, Lucasfilm doing a big dick move. This game was in pre-production back then. So this game is way further along than a lot of people think it is. And like, I've seen a lot of people putting out there that this thing might not come out till 2024, 2025. As far as we know, and we know somebody pretty close to the situation, they're targeting Q4 2023. They want a 20th anniversary game. They don't want a 21st anniversary game. They want a 20th anniversary game. And I think publishers that aren't EA can release new Star Wars material in the back half of 2023 because the exclusivity deal runs up. So
yeah. I'm looking forward to the game because when it came out, it was so beside where I was at with Star Wars. I didn't actually enjoy it a lot when it came out. I was just like, okay. and then but everything was just so on a different page than what we were getting. It was, what Attack of the Clones just came out. Like it was just like such like a different headspace to like try to like get yourself into. And I didn't connect with it. Then my ex loved it. She was like, "You have to play it." Like she made me play it. And when I played it again out of context of that, then I actually like really did enjoy it. But I think I was actually able to take the game in and just enjoy it for like what it was, as opposed to anything. I think when I finally played through it, like really played through it, it was like 2007 when I finally like got to it, and I put it on the original Xbox. Lots of bugs and stuff. That's one of the things I remember about it, though. But it was definitely good. The only thing about it that pisses me off in 2022 is that if they are revising the game and it's not canon, why would you revise a game and not let it be canon?
I don't know if it's not going to be canon, because one of the rumors is they're moving it up in the timeline. I can't confirm that. I wish I could.
Yeah.
But I don't think this game takes place 4,000 years before the events of the original trilogy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong on that one, but
Yeah.
Who knows? But a lot of people wanted like the same game, just modernized,
Mm-hmm.
and it's definitely not that. I know a lot of
It's
people.
not.
It's that.
It's not.
It's not that. It's nothing close to that.
So how in depth have you heard that it like the remake is like it's like a complete redesign even?
Yeah, like when you go to, obviously, like the Ebon Hawk is going to look like a modernized version of the Ebon Hawk.
Sure.
And like all the main characters are there. The main story for the most part is intact from what we understand, with some slight changes to enhance gameplay. But like all your side quests, and well, I shouldn't say all your side quests, but like a lot of the side stuff in the game is going to be completely different, just to give you a new experience. Because like they're side quests, like they can lead you on your journey, but at the end of the day, they're not super relevant. And then
Yeah.
the combat system is the big one. If you remember, it's old school turn-based combat in the original game, which I don't mind personally.
Me either.
I like that. Let's slow it down a bit. But from what I understand, there's people out there saying it's just straight up hack and slash, and that's not the case. It's more like the final two Dragon Age games that came out, and in fact, at Aspire Media, they have most of the staff from the original Knights of the Old Republic game working on it, as well as staff from the Dragon Age games. So
Okay.
it definitely isn't the old school turn-based style, but it's also not straight up hack and slash. It's a bit of the two, and you'll still be able to plan out your attacks and party-based game, etc. So,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really hoping that they take the aesthetic that they were going for and are able to, you know, make it film quality. That's my hope. You know what I'm saying? Like where if they wanted to make it into a film, they could 1-to-1 it almost. Because that's what I don't like, is like whenever like I play something like that and I'm like, I know if this was in a movie, it would be different. I know if they made Ahsoka, she wouldn't have those long ass tails on her head because that would be crazy. Stuff like that, you know.
from what I understand, they're trying to make the game more cinematic, but how cinematic you can make it, I don't know. So,
Yeah. Were you a crazy fan of it, Rob? Was it like a big deal to you, or?
So it came out when I was in college, and I
Mhm.
had no time to play games. Those
Whoa!
years.
Got no time to play games, ladies. Sorry, Rob's doing homework.
I bought them, and they sat there and stared. And I'm like, I wish I had time to play. I didn't. I was so busy, I didn't have time to draw, and I was in art school. You think about that. So,
Trace.
but I did get to it. So I had been waiting for this game. Was originally, for the longest time, since Final Fantasy VII. It was called. Everyone wanted the Final Fantasy Star Wars game. That was the big. If you open up a game magazine in 1997 through 2003, it was, when are they making the Final Fantasy Star Wars game? The minute Final Fantasy VII came out, everyone was like, Star Wars, like this, RPG. And so when this was announced, everyone was sort of expecting that. And to an extent, it plays more like a bigger version of maybe the Baldur's Gates games a little bit to me. But It was cool and highly influential. Like, if you were looking for more of that OT vibe, given the prequels at the time, this was the game you kind of went to, right?
Yeah.
So it is definitely cool. And what I did like is I felt that ever since the Tales of the Jedi comic book, this actually felt like proper Star Wars older prequel stuff. Like, none of that other stuff ever felt like it was really in Star Wars. This did feel like it was in Star Wars, you know.
Yeah.
So whatever you come what may, it certainly did. So I really thought it was awesome, and then the twist and all everything that happens at the end, you know, and the choices you can make is cool. So um I guess I sort of figured a remake would come whenever they I always say this, whenever enough devs left the other studios to form their own studio to make it. Like, no studio wanted to deal with a licensing fee and an RPG, right? At the same time. Like, given the amount of content plus the surplus tax they got to put on a licensed game, that it would take a bunch of RPG devs kind of pushing this, you know, to make it happen. So enough people who grew up with it, worked on a bunch of RPGs, left the studio, were able to somehow, you know what I mean? Like, all the right things would line up and then this would happen. So it sounds a lot like that's a very similar situation here, just given the talent kind of behind it, you know?
Yeah.
So I personally prefer turn-based, but me and only 11 million Dragon Quest players agree, so I don't know. Like,
yeah, I like how Dragon Quest lets you go and, like, you know, do like the one like cheap shot for like a bonus, and then after that it's a little I like that, because then, you know, you kind of get that little bit of interactivity, but you don't necessarily
I thought it was
have to be good at video games.
In Elden Ring, the big complaint was there was no pause button. I'm like, well, if it were turn-based, you'd be able to just take your time. But my gaming friends like, will you shut up about the fucking turn-based, dude? Just stop. I'm like, all right, well, Yakuza went turn-based, but I won't talk about it. All right.
Yeah.
So, but I am excited about all of this, because we now, I got a question, Sean. Do you know, are they targeting the newer systems as the target platform, or is this sort of like a PS4, you know, with up-res, you know, target?
I'm glad you brought that up. As far as I know, it's for the new systems. I know there's a lot of PlayStation. There's like as much toxicity as there is for Star Wars fans. Xbox and PlayStation fans seem to go at each other like crazy. And when the trailer came out, it was announced as a console exclusive for the PlayStation, which is completely opposite from what the first two games were. But it's only a timed exclusive. So the first few, I don't know if it's the first few months or the first half year, will be on the PlayStation, and then it'll be on the Xbox. But as far as I know, they're on the next gen consoles, and that's what they were targeted for as well. I also know there's a ton of customization options in the game. What worries me, though, that I can't get confirmed is in today's gaming age, that usually means there's going to be a shit ton of microtransactions. I think Jason plays Fortnite, and there's a ton in there, right? So you got to make the money, though. It's a huge budget game. It's the biggest budget game Asper's ever done. So you got to make the money back on more than just your game sales.
Sith horse armor confirmed.
Will I be able to get a big old dick? Because the Cyberpunk, you're able to get a big old robot dick if you needed to. You can do that.
It's a mod bod.
Right? I bet you Favreau was playing that when he was like, oh, I have an idea. They're called mods. Get it? Mods.
They can form a squad.
Yeah. Well, it was just kind of occurred to me right now when we were talking. I was like, you know, I think I actually liked the Old Republic MMO actually better than KOTOR, which I'm sure makes people want to kill me. But at the same time, that is their like breaded, in a big way, though. That is kind of like their like loyal audience. The people that are probably playing that are still probably like the people who are going to definitely play this. And whatever they do in the remake has to be at least on quality or better than what they're doing in the MMO. That's like still kicking in terms of just like quality of life stuff, I would think, right? I mean, I'm not trying to put you on the spot and act above anything that we know, but I'm just saying like it seems like a no-brainer almost.
Graphically speaking, and even the way it runs, it should be way above where the Old Republic is now. I haven't played the Old Republic in like a year now.
It's a 2009 game, like, or 10. Like, it's
it should be way beyond that.
Oh, of course. But I mean, but when you look at that game compared to the original KOTOR, it's like, oh, there you're sitting pretty. You got all kinds of buttons you could hit and stuff. You know what I mean? Just in terms of options and shit.
I'm not a big PC gamer, so like when I found out the Old Republic was only going to be for PC, I was like dreading it, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not a PC gamer. And like you just mentioned it, all the buttons, like the hotkeys and stuff, I was so lost for like the first month until I got used to it. So
yeah,
I definitely prefer console. And I do believe, I know a lot of people again are saying that it's just PlayStation. It's not. And I believe it's going to launch at PC at the same time as PlayStation.
It is.
Xbox will have to wait. So
yeah, it's a console exclusive to PlayStation, but it'll be on PC at the same time. And I'm sure they paid for that, so that's probably gonna like stick. But with all of the console issues that they have, I don't know if hopefully there's a lot more PlayStations on the market by then, or else like right now I don't have a PlayStation. I could have got one time, and I passed, and ever since then I never saw one again.
It's so good.
I like Xbox.
Me too.
I like Xbox. When I play Xbox, I know I'm alive. And man,
you've not used the PS5 controller, my friend. You have not experienced
relative deprivation is what I would say to that. You don't know what you're missing.
That's when I don't talk to my relatives.
I don't have the newest Xbox either. I have the Xbox One X, not the Xbox Series X, whatever the fuck it's called. It's so confusing. But I do have the new controller, and the new Xbox controller, pretty nice. I do like it.
Very grippy.
Yeah. What did I say?
I totally just lost my train of thought.
Okay. Yeah. but when it comes to like microtransactions, like in Fortnite, I'm cool with it because I don't pay for Fortnite. Fortnite doesn't cost me anything ever, except for that $7 every like 3 months that I spend like on the season battle pass, what the fuck it's called. And so whenever when I'm playing a game like me and Bestman were playing today, I bought the Moon Knight skin. I was fancy in the suit Moon Knight, and he was the caped Moon Knight. We had a good time. Fun time.
Show, isn't it? Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna over transaction the game. That really is EA's handling of that is what caused them to lose the exclusivity. Like I mean, when you get a personal phone call from the CEO because of the way you're handling microtransactions, you done fucked up.
Sure.
We have screwed up some licenses at the t-shirt companies. I never seen a CEO of a company of a licensor call to complain. That is a whole level of
Star Wars fans want options. If they make 15, what was that other game? That one mobile game. For some reason it was okay because it was a mobile game. That Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
True, sadly.
There's people that spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on that game, and no, everybody's fine with it. But I think the big difference is pay to win versus content. Like if they want to make 1,500 Lego packs for Lego Star Wars, and it's my choice to buy them, but it's not pay to win, that's fine. But if you make Lego Star Wars,
$60 to play though, Jason, like that's the problem. When you're charging 60, and some of those collector's editions for Battlefronts were 120 plus.
Sure. But play to win is the issue. I think at the end of the day, Star Wars fans are, I love you guys, but most of us are mindless consumers who are like, oh, I need another plastic Luke Skywalker because this one has the yellow jacket with the medallion. The other one didn't have the medallion, so I need to have both. And it's like, so if those people are going to get mad about having the option of being able to play Knights of the Old Republic, but you have pink Hoth clothes on or something, that's just don't buy it. That's what I say.
It's funny you say that because if we do find out that Xbox isn't going to get Knights of the Old Republic for like a year or something after. I don't think it'll be that long, but if it's like a year, I'm totally going to go buy a PS5 and play this game. I'll
Yeah.
be sleeping on the couch for 2 weeks, but it'll be worth it.
I'm going to dress up as a grandma, show up at Rob's house, tell his wife, I'm Rob's grandma. I've come to hang out with you guys. And she's going to be like, oh, Grandma Rob, I didn't know you were
Grandma Esterhouse. Right? Like,
Grandma Esterhouse. I'm like, oh, excuse me, dear, can you fetch me my slippers and a KOTOR on the PlayStation, please? Do you think it'll work? I mean, you don't think it'll work, do you? No, it won't work well. But yeah. But anyways, yeah, and then you were saying something about this matters to me a lot. The old music. Something with the music?
So the music's being re-recorded. So you're gonna have the original soundtrack. I don't know if there's gonna be a spin on it. It doesn't sound like the composer from 1, 2, or the Old Republic, the main composer anyway for the Old Republic, are coming back for this. But there's gonna be new music as well in addition to the original music. So I am excited for that because I did think the music for those games were pretty compelling.
Yeah. Yeah. Any idea who's doing the music? Is that
no idea at all. I know
John Williams.
Gary someone, I can't remember the last name. Gary someone was thrown out there. I think he helped with the Old Republic, but was not the main composer.
Right. Oh wait. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's going to be like somebody really, really good, like I don't know, Katie Lang's Knights of the Old Republic. No, nobody even knows who she is anymore, do they? Anyways,
Saturday Night Live. It's my only experience with it.
with Katie Lang,
and she looks like Miles Teller. But other than that, like, it's crazy. They're like a 1-to-1.
Whoa, she's a Joker. No.
Yeah.
The only other thing I have right now is I don't know if you guys remember Swoop Racing. It felt very much like you were playing just like a race car game on the NES when you
yeah, it was pretty bad.
That's been completely revamped and it'll be far more racy and immersive in the game than the little quick ramps you used to drive over in the original game. So it sounds like that's been completely redone.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, because that part I remember from the game very clearly, it being frustrating and feeling stupid to me compared to Shadows of the Empire, and that is not an endorsement because I love Shadows of the Empire. That game is a piece of shit. I love that piece of shit, but it's a piece of shit. A lot of times it broke. It didn't really run that well. It was all over the place, you know. but
I fought a Dianoga for 3 months.
Yeah. I mean, I used to just play the end battle with the Falcon. I used to fly the Falcon around for fun. I was like, I'm flying the Millennium Falcon. I don't have any problems. I always wanted to do this. And
that Joel McNeely thing on a loop, like about 45 seconds of music on a loop for Skyhook, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I had the soundtrack. And I was glad I had the soundtrack to Shadows too. Was it by Perry?
Joel McNeely.
It was Joel McNeely. Okay. Oh, Perry wrote the book. Was it somebody named Perry? Whatever. But point is
Joel McNeely did the music.
Okay, yeah. The music would get dropped around every 6 months during the prequels as John Williams leak. Every time I put it on, I'd be like, nah, it's not it. It's Shadows of the Empire. So that was like my big contribution to the internet back then. So
I remember being so bummed because I was like 9 or 10 years old when that game came out, so I didn't know what was really going on in Hollywood, and I just assumed there was a movie coming with the game. And,
that's fair.
The movie never came, and I was bummed. And then Phantom Menace eventually came, but movie. And every other aspect of it, literally, it's a massive multimedia project for a movie, basically without a movie.
Yeah, it was a dry run for Phantom Menace. Because they were trying to figure out how they were going to do the next Star Wars films, and that let them know. Clearly, it didn't. The experiment did not work though, because when they did whatever math they did, they decided that we needed that many Rick Alays and that many Captain or Jar Jars and that many of those figures, and it was like it's a Terrence Stamp figure. How many do you think it's going to sell? but that's how they came up with their predictions for the Phantom Menace toys, was based off of that line. And it was fun. I had a good time, at least. That's kind of like, I guess I was trying to think of that stuff. I'm always like, it's kind of a failure. But then I think, you know what? I had fun. That's their problem.
I enjoyed the game, and the graphics.
Yeah, me
too. So
yeah, no, and don't be wrong. I love that game. I mean, I just played. I like the fact that you would be like on Hoth in that one, and then you'd be on a train fighting IG-88, and you know what I mean. Just the ability to like do all of that stuff. And 3D games were new still at that time too. So like I didn't really get like boundaries, like how there would just be a bunch of like jagged shit back there. I was always like, I wonder what happens if I could get through this wall. I wonder what's on the other side. Like maybe it's like something from the Phantom Menace is over there. I don't know.
That'd be a cool remake. Too. I'd buy that.
Shadows of the Empire. Yeah. Dash Rendar. They should call it Dash Rendar 2024.
Only
like
if Matt
Cyberpunk?
Berry can be Dash Rendar. Only if Matt Berry can be Dash Rendar.
I don't care.
It's the only way I would accept this game.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Whatever.
So we're going to finally get to walk around Dantooine, right? They're keeping all the locations in this game.
It sounds like most of the locations are changing, at least the primary ones that have the star maps. So,
okay. Yeah. Wow, you remember Dantooine. I forgot all about it.
It's Dantooine.
It's Dan's planet. It's like, this is Dan, you know?
I am curious, though. I don't have any information on it, but the original Knights of the Old Republic was supposed to have like a Mustafar-like planet. There's like, if you look on the PC version, there's a bunch of like listings for stuff for that planet, and it was cut when the game came out. Just they didn't have time to finish it up. I wonder if that gets reinserted into the game. And there was also like a droid planet that you could go to as well. So there's 2 additional planets that were almost in the original Knights of the Old Republic. I'd be curious to see if they get put back in. I know it's not going to feel exactly like playing the original game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a different experience.
And in this instance, that's fine because you can still play the original game. We're not like George Lucasing anybody and going like, the original Knights of the Old Republic can never be played again. That was your last time. That was your one chance. And now, fuck you.
Well,
time has moved on.
Marcia gets 20 points on KOTOR every time, so I gotta cut this one off at the nub.
Oh man, poor George.
But you think they'll work any Mando crossover, Mandalore crossover from the Mandalorian to this? You think there'll be?
Was there Mandalorian stuff in the original game? I don't remember now.
Oh, big.
There was, right?
The whole premise of the game is based off of the Mandalorian Wars. So
yeah.
They should be doing stuff with that, in my opinion. But whether they do anything with it or not is beyond me. I thought Mandalorian Wars would have made a good TV show too, but
maybe
no shit.
Well, maybe that's what's actually
Just think
stopping
about the
this.
name. Mandalorian Wars.
I'm pretty sure that Leland Chi from Lucasfilm confirmed that it wasn't going to be canon. This is from memory, but I'm pretty sure he said it's not canon. And I wonder if that's where there's a disconnect. Is that it's something in the story of that game isn't going to line up with what they have going on in future seasons, or maybe they don't even want to tie their hands. Maybe they just want it completely off the table in case they want to do something random, you know, and maybe that's all that it is. And maybe it'll get maybe if that doesn't conflict, then they'll be like, yeah, it's canon now. It's canon. It's cool.
It's so weird for the thing that has garnered like the highest praise of writing and awards, takes place 4,000 years before the movies that have all this strict lore. Then they're like, no. There'll be a book series later that's canon. You can reread that version there, you know? And it'll be like Darth Revan holding some flowers, you know, on a fucking book. And then I can be like, oh, that's brilliant. Can't wait to read that, you know? Like, give me a whole series, you know? Right. Sean, I'm not a complainer. I'm just saying, if it says Star Wars and you're holding flowers, I don't know, man. Might not be the same thing for me. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Just say it.
I mean, I've heard like so many times from credible people, like or people in the Star Wars industry, that like Revan is something that that they want to explore, that they have all of these ideas for what to do with Revan based content. And so, but once I heard that, and I heard, oh, this game's not canon, I was just like, how does any of this make sense? I don't know. I'm curious as to, but maybe, me and Rob were talking recently. We were like, maybe it's time to start throwing all kinds of non-canon stuff at people, so they just realize you can just like something, and it doesn't have to be canon.
Yeah.
But I do tend to want all of my stuff to talk to each other. I don't know why.
But I really put that more in like, hey, Masters of Kasi, whatever.
Kasi, have some respect.
It can just be a fighting game with all the characters like Smash Bros or Mortal Kombat. It doesn't have to. You don't have to find a way to make it all fit.
Every year, the greatest warriors in the Star Wars galaxies convene in one space to fight in hand to hand, and one of them is just a really obese Gamorrean guard. Don't ask questions. He kicks ass.
I know who he's fighting right now.
What was that, Sean?
They tie their own hands so much with their canon stuff. Like I get it. Yeah. I'm someone who actually likes a lot of Legends material, but can also admit that some of it is batshit crazy at times. Mm-hmm. But like, why not continue? Like, it's sales. You were literally throwing away money by closing that section off. So
the best of the best, the stuff that's stuck, like this is the one that's stuck. So it's weird. I got a question, whether you know or not. You think they're going to expand the locations like for exploration bigger, or is it going to be very linear, like pathy? You know what I mean? Like,
so I don't know specifically that, but I was told this quote directly. The game is way bigger than in the original. So I don't know what that means necessarily in terms of story length or 100% completion, but I actually didn't mind like the size of some of the maps in Knights of the Old Republic. Again, I hadn't played an RPG in like a decade, basically. But like I remember going to Manon, the water planet, and just feeling like it just didn't end. And getting a lot of it confused because some stuff looked the same. And but my guess is there will be expanded locations.
Yeah. I think in terms of like, they have to make the game work for the original fans of it, but a new generation who never played it but is maybe just playing general RPGs in the 2020s has to pick this up and go, this is quality shit. Like this fucking works. If it was the game from 2000, what was it, 2002? Can't remember when it came out. 2003. Yeah, if it was from 2003, that game with just upscale graphics, it doesn't really hold up to, just like I was talking about earlier, like quality of life stuff just isn't there in the game. I bought it on the Switch for my son. Like, people love this, and he likes Dragon Quest and stuff like that. He loves Star Wars. Didn't like it, and I was like, they're remaking it. We'll play the remake, and then maybe I'll like it then.
Well, that's also tougher with older games that use photo textures, because what looks realistic in 2003 wouldn't look realistic even 5 years later, and 2008 doesn't look realistic in 2015. So realism is always a tough one to keep up.
Sure.
I assume the aesthetic will be closer to Fallen Order than hand painted textures, right? Like it's more of a, photorealistic textured game, used universe.
Yeah.
And like the MMO is like a painted texture Warcraft thing, World of Warcraft sort of variant or whatever. But you think so when you said a lot of options, you think like a little Sith builder, like, or do you think like buy the helmet or find the armor like in Elden Ring or something? Do you think?
So when you create your character in even the first two games, the second one by Obsidian as well, your options are extremely limited in what you can do in terms of appearance. In the Old Republic, it feels a little more cartoony to me, but the customization options, there's a lot of them. And it sounds like it's going to be very much the same in this game. But like one of the examples is this: when you play the original game, the only way Revan gets to actually be Revan is after he finds out the truth about himself, which is literally like in the last quarter of the game.
Best part of the game, always the last quarter.
And like, if you think that they're going to release this game and not give players the option to be Revan all the way through in terms of like the appearance and how he looks, people would be crazy to think that. There's going to be all sorts of customization that you can buy too. Like you were talking the other day about buying characters for the Lego game, I think it was. It's going to be the same thing here. I agree that when you purchase like microtransactions for customization is cool. I don't like the pay to win stuff, but obviously this isn't that type of game, so I wouldn't be surprised if they go ham on the microtransactions for this game, just in terms of customization.
Yeah, I would be, like I said, I would love it if they did it, especially if they were like good offerings. You know, that's all. It's always fun to have those kind of options, but at the same time,
so since it's non-canon, when you say like options, could you get sequel trilogy characters, even though it takes place it just as a skin? This is where I'm thinking when you know, a reason to make it non-canon is if you're like, hey, we know it takes place 4,000 years before, but if you want to play with a Luke Skywalker skin, you know what I mean, or Admiral Thrawn skin, you could just do it. You think?
I don't think so.
The Force Unleashed Special Edition actually did that, where you could play as the other characters in the Star Wars universe throughout the story. So I don't know if they're going to do that, but if they did it back then, I think that would be, hey, it's a chance for them to make money. But it doesn't.
That is the benefit to a non-canon game, Jason, is that you can do weird shit like that. You know?
Oh, like, sure.
You could have the Lego, like a life-size Lego, dude.
I'm just thinking of it in terms of like, I just don't know if it personally don't think my opinion was that wouldn't be good for the era, but at the end of the day, if you're trying to establish an old Republic aesthetic and era, and you're doing like a redesign, and all of a sudden I'm just Finn in it, kind of just like, what's at that point? What's the fucking point? But that's just me.
Take canon too serious.
No, I don't. It's not that. It's that it just. You would think
it's non-canon though, Jason. It's
but
a
you
game
would.
now.
I know, but you still would think it would be era specific. That's just me though. I don't know.
What endless costumes can you sell for 4,000 years ago? Like, this is Duke Darkwalker, and it looks kind of like Luke, but he's got a.
I'll be honest with you right now.
They're all Kiefer Sutherlands.
I'm just gonna be fucking straight up with you. Not my fucking problem. That's Lucasfilm's problem. They can solve it.
But this is how you get around it. Lucasfilm goes, well, it's non-canon, so that they can go and make video game money the way any other game studio would. You know,
the only way it's appropriate is if they do the Buck Rogers opening with him like this, and when you are the character, it's like Finn was set back 4,000 years in Star Wars history, and he's like, dun, 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 you know, and it just has him like going.
Like, if Miyazaki made this game, it'd be Luke's hand. You could play as Luke's hand, and his giant fucking Luke's hand walks around the whole time. Like, you know, you'd have a giant C-3PO bronze head pot you could wear on your dude and run around. So, you know, there are other options.
Our buddy Tyrant says, not claiming inside knowledge, but Sony's exclusives since Ryan Hulse took over leadership have been pretty standard 12 months. Also, Rob, the only game DGE DualSense has been great so far is Astra.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Demon Souls has some really great stuff, and a few of the shooters have some really great mechanics with the weapon. And so, has it been utilized enough? No, but there haven't been a lot of exclusive releases other than Spider-Man and stuff, because the consoles are not in people's hands. The more of these consoles are in the hands, like this is a game that was ripe for even use the Force on whatever they could do with that thing. Like when you're on the sand, I guess when you're in a Dianoga's ass, you could feel the slime in the controller or something, you know, like you could see. You guys haven't used the controller. It's really tactile. Like you can really, I don't know how to describe it to you, but you remember like the PS3 when they had that game Layer with the dragons that the Rogue Squadron guys were making, and you had this tilt thing, right? And it sucked, right? Because you can't feel nothing. You're just doing this weird shit. But with this controller, like you can feel every little click movement around, like from weighted to sand to light. Like it's the craziest thing I've ever used.
Yeah.
So it's so good that
Wait,
I don't know
wait, did you say sand?
yeah, you can feel sand.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It gets everywhere.
don't put that
Which
in a
is
Darth
Star
Vader
Wars.
game. Don't do it.
Gotta do it.
Don't
Gotta
do
do
it.
it.
It'll be bad.
Gets
It'll be
everywhere.
bad.
Gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Hey, Sean, do you have an Oculus Quest by any chance?
I don't, but I wanted to play the Vader stuff for so long. I heard
I remember. I think you and I talked about it before. The Quest, like a while ago. They yesterday they announced Ghostbusters in VR. And I'm pretty excited for Ghostbusters in VR.
That's
I'm
awesome.
gonna, yeah,
You played the Vader stuff?
yeah, Vader Immortal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, a bunch of times. It's a good time. The only critique I have of that game though is like when you walk up to Darth Vader and you hit the buttons on his chest, he doesn't kill you. He just takes it. Yeah, I think if you get your hands too close to Darth Vader, I think he should beat you up a little bit, choke you, do something to you. Instead, he's just like, don't do that, please.
So Dale says KOTOR trilogy. Like, do you think this is a platform to release more down the way, or just a one-off? Like, you see them expanding on whatever they're doing?
I think it depends on how it does, right? Like if it bombs, then no. But if it's a huge success, then maybe. I don't know. I'm the guy who was waiting for years for Knights of the Old Republic 3 after the very unfinished 2 came out, and it just never happened. So I wouldn't bet on anything at this point, but I would like to hope so. I know originally there was talks, instead of doing this, that they would just remaster 1 and 2, finish 2, and release them as like one big game.
Mhm.
And they elected to remake 1 with obviously some additions and subtractions instead, because their remakes are a big thing right now. Call of Duty did remakes. Resident Evil did a couple of very successful remakes. So they're taking their shot.
Look, if this thing looks even like half as good as Demon Souls, it's gonna sell a bazillion fucking copies. Like, just gonna be honest. Like Demon Souls, if it has that, because it's just, it's a next gen developed release. Like, if it has that visual fidelity, man, with like the wet cobbles, the metal and the earth, I mean, just the fucking lighting alone. If they really sell that lighting engine, you're not gonna be thinking 2003 remake game. You're just gonna be like, you gotta go play this game. It's amazing. Like it's. I'm hoping that this is those Dragon Age games look pretty good. Like, especially 2, right? Like when that came out, like they really. Even I was like, no, oh, that looks good. Like, they seem to know what they're doing, So we do need. I'm not always the guy who's like, graphics are everything, but with Star Wars, they really are a big chunk of the deal. When you get a Star Wars game that feels like you're playing a movie in real time, it makes up for any shortcomings it may or may not have, like, very quickly.
Right.
I totally agree. Like, even when you look at the Quantic Dream thing that's going on right now, assuming it ever comes out, like, instead of creating a new game engine, dive full into what you did with Detroit Becoming Human. And I can't remember if they did Heavy Rain or not. I think it might have been them that did Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain's fantastic. Yep. I think that game might be the most replayable game, like story game, that there is. Like, the story constantly changes. Dive full into like a Star Wars experience like that. Yeah, it's not full open world and you can't do absolutely anything you want. But I think a Star Wars game like that would be fun, and it hasn't been done yet, not to my knowledge, anyway.
Yeah, I found that weird about the whole Quantic Dream situation. I think Rob said something really smart for the first time in his whole fucking life the other day, and he said,
"Mom."
No, he said no. When you said maybe they, somebody was saying it was coming. Maybe it wasn't going as bad as people were saying. There was a story about that earlier in the week, I think. And you were like, oh, maybe they just scaled down how ambitious they were being, or something like that. And it's like,
that's
and I think
the obvious answer.
that is the Occam's razor about if that's true, that makes the most sense. But I also think, like, my fucking Lego Star Wars doesn't have any online, even just for like 2-player co-op online, which is ridiculously stupid. They skipped it there. The game's doing fucking well, and they have open world Star Wars games coming. They're making an open world Star Wars game. So if that's your jam, you should be able to take the Quantic Dream one and just go, you know what, it doesn't do it, but the next other game is going to do that. That's why I'm okay with that. I'm a big boy now. That's what we should be able to do, and that's what they should be able to develop. Just do what you do right. I totally agree with where Sean's coming from on that. Like, do it, just do it good. But
play to your strengths.
Back in the day, when people were like, okay, you're doing this MMO, the Old Republic, but where's KOTOR 3? And their answer back then used to be, we took 3 and 4 and the stories from that and we put them into this MMO. And so when you're playing through, you are playing 3, 4, and you're actually doing 5 and 6 too. And there was so much to that game, I actually kind of believe them. And I started, and the game is still going on, so I go, okay, it's still alive. But I kind of started to wonder if maybe down the road they may, if any of that was true.
Jason, is not the same.
No,
it's just not the same.
No, here's where you're wrong. It's a bad MMO. It's a good, when you do a lot of what was okay. So I don't know how much it changed over the years. Okay, but when the game came out, I played, what was level 60 was, I think, the max level when it came out.
Yeah.
I played every class to level 60. That's what a fucking idiot nerd I am. I did it all. I did every single story.
You were like a crafter in Galaxies, so you're like...
I was an image designer, god damn you. And people looked beautiful, and I was very rich because I was good at it. I was the Vidal Sassoon of Star Wars of Naboo. My house was at 0-0 because I was smart. But no, anyways, no, but where I'm going with it is that it I really did enjoy the game. The game would get progressively worse. When you would start the early content, it was fucking stuff. At least for like the first year. I don't know if it got better. So if it did, whatever. But in that first year, it would start really good and it would get progressively worse. But those starting areas in the game back then, they might as well have been single player. There was almost nothing that you really had a huge advantage for until you went and did raids, and the raids were the big deal. But you can literally convert. I'm not saying they will do this, but if what they were saying was true, someday in the future they could cannibalize that content, turn it into that game, and start from there if they wanted to. Because when you get to the raid stuff, that's just where you would have a party full of characters if it was a classic one-player RPG game. I felt like, and
I think 3 or 4 years into that game, they came out with an expansion called Knights of the Fallen Empire, and that was like, I think it was 16 levels, 16 chapters of story.
okay.
And that, to me, that little portion of the game is the closest it ever felt to Knights of the Old Republic for me, because it really, like, it sort of cancels out the MMO stuff. There's some like safe areas where you'll run into some other characters, but as soon as you leave that safe area, it's all story area, and it runs more like Knights of the Old Republic than the rest of the game did. And I think one of the reasons they did that is they were getting a lot of complaints from Knights of the Old Republic diehards, because I kind of agree with Rob. I'm not a big MMO guy, and I'd much prefer the original over the MMO.
Yeah.
Well, they put out that CGI video, right? Remember, like when the game first came out, and it's that scene where you're like, why didn't we get this in the fucking prequels, man? Where the ship drops down and all those red sabers turn on, and you're like, oh motherfucker! And like, I know, Jason, I don't want to hear. It's my time. It's my time. Down here, it's my time, Jason. It's up there. It's your time. Like,
it's just a bunch. It's just a bunch.
The Brady bunch.
Look at Darth Vader through a kaleidoscope, and it's the same fucking thing. Sorry.
No, it isn't. Yeah. That's the way Forlom sees him. Stop it. So, and the game never really gave you that. The game never gave you that feeling of experiencing that. My hope is this game at some point gives you that kind of feeling. Where you're getting that, not that exact experience, but that feeling of what, like, the cool part about KOTOR is that it felt like what the prequels, I was hoping the prequels were, in terms of the scope and scale and everything. Before George wrote a bunch of rules, I pulled out the yellow pad. No rules, attachment, only 2, budget, big, large frog guy with Michael Jackson, like all that shit, like, that's just what I want, man. Like, to experience cinematicness like that, but in real time is the hope.
Yeah, my with the old Republic game itself, like my big issue with it was the most fun I was having in the game was playing like Star Wars basketball. I don't remember what it was called. There was like one team was the Frog Dogs and the other was like something else, and you just had to like fight each other and like score a goal. I can't remember now. It's like how you got like armor at like launch. That was good. You had to do it, but I had a good time with it. But I started to realize like that's where like that and raiding were the parts where it was like an MMO. Other than that, it wasn't really an MMO. It was like a single player role player game where you could do some of the stuff with other people, but you didn't really need to. Like I didn't even like doing it because when I did with other people, I feel like I progressed slower or something. I don't know. People were slowing me down. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm a journeyman warrior. You know, can't stop me. But I hope one of these days, they do an MMO, and I hope they do an RPG too. I love both, and I actually prefer them over first-person shooters.
I want my Final Fantasy Star Wars game where they got crazy J-pop hair and big lightsaber blades and fucking jazz music playing in the
Star Wars
background.
Visions, the RPG.
You goddamn right I do.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Visions Quest. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on the list we haven't touched on, Sean, or we just shooting the shit now?
We've gone over everything that we have right now. Although Jason just mentioned the story there, and Drew Karpatian has already gone on record. He was a writer on the first game. He wrote the Revan novel, which for me is the closest thing you'll ever get to Knights of the Old Republic 3. And he said, like, right from the beginning, the plan was that Revan and Malak went out into the unknown after the Mandalorian Wars and ran into that Sith Lord, Vitiate, or whatever his name was. And
Fishhead?
Vitiate, I think it is.
Vitiate.
Better.
Okay.
But he's the Emperor in the Old Republic, and even back then, that was the intended direction. So when they say that, I do think they're telling the truth that you did get between the novel and the Old Republic. You kind of did get Knights of the Old Republic 3.
Yeah, you like resurrected Revan at one point, right?
Yeah,
I remember doing that in like one of the raids.
Yeah, Shadow of Revan, actually.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I like that part. I remember playing that. Like we got the thing. I didn't even know that was going to happen. And I was like, what? Amazing. And then I remember someone's like, Revan was a girl. What's going on here? And I was like, it was a girl in yours. I don't know. It was a dude in mine. So
it's probably a big ask to ask Star Wars fans to be reasonable. But like, if this game, for whatever reason, doesn't make the Q4 2023 release, don't be like pissy about it. The worst thing they can do is put out a game before it's ready. Knights of the Old Republic 2 suffered terribly from that. Although I like a lot of things about that game, it was so incomplete. And honestly, there's a history of Star Wars games being released before they're anywhere close to finished. So,
but this is where the exclusivity comes into help, because there's not a lot of platforms to release on at launch, and that really helps a lot of QA.
Yeah.
And just streamlining development altogether. So porting stuff, they can bring on other teams, and that happens after a game's developed, so it's not taken away from dev time and everything else. So I know people don't like exclusive windows and stuff, but the more platforms you have, the more buggy it gets. The more and the less it's a real nightmare. I've been a part of that process. I sat back and was like, that looks painful. And I had a buddy once who worked at Midway, because it used to be right up the street from my college, and he's like, I'll get a job there after school and be a game tester. And they put him on just Game Boy Color games, and he wanted to kill himself. Like, he had to play Gauntlet Legends on Game Boy Color for 6 months, and just he was just banging his head into a wall. It was like,
sounds cool to me.
Job. Sounds cool until you got to do it.
Yeah. Gauntlet was fun. Dell says, I have a couple of extra day tickets for Thursday and Friday, possibly. I quit smoking to heal this surgery. My girlfriend didn't think it was important enough to quit with me, like she said she would. Sorry.
That's like when one diets and the other's like, nah.
Nah,
Goblin
I'm
nut.
good.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Goblin nut.
So more for me at dinner then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Soundwave. Sorry if we've been ignoring the old chat today, but we're here, chat. We love you. Bjork should do the music. I agree. Little Icelandic princess. Obi-Wan to homie says, coming in with the big old hole smash for Disney. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, like the video. You got Tyrants composer Mark Grisky.
He did 2, and I believe he was the main guy on the Old Republic. I'd be surprised if he's back for this, because from what I understand, he's done a pretty good job of trashing Lucasfilm publicly. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened there?
He
Did you know?
I don't know the specifics about it. Just he kept running his mouth, similar to was it Gary Whitta that kept running his mouth too?
No, I think Gary Whitta's still eating that ass at Lucasfilm. I think, as far as I know. But yeah.
No, yeah. Apparently they weren't on great terms. So if he is back, though, that'd be great, because I think there's a theme in Knights of the Old Republic 2 that's actually my favorite of all those games. So
I got a tweet from Mark Grisky. I'm not even making this up, from December 13th, 2021. Right?
I thought you meant right now. I was like, whoa, Mark Grisky's like gonna get us.
No, but read this. He goes, I'm super excited that someone from Lucas is willing to reach out to me and discuss the possibility that I might still be able to at least pitch the notion that I'm qualified to compose music for this franchise called Star Wars. Let's see what the man says. Hashtag 20 years working for Lucas. Is follow. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, this lines up with development as well. If it had already been going a while, right? That looks like, hey, we'll get him back. I'll go talk to him. We'll see.
Yeah. No, I I mean,
there were a lot of adjectives in that tweet. He replied,
after all of the things I've heard over the years, I could get why somebody would work for Lucasfilm, because it was the dream you had when you were 5. But when you step away from that and you look at everything holistically, and for all the things I've ever heard, I'm like, oh man, you have to really owe that 5-year-old something to want to take that over pretty much anywhere else. I don't get it, especially like half the time it's like I always hear two stories from Lucasfilm. The first story is it's young assholes, up and comers from Ivy League colleges. I know Star Wars, and then are there and they're fucking shouldn't be in positions that they're in, and people are just like, what the fuck? And then the other side is old people who need to really get the fuck out and refuse. it's always one or the other there. It's kind of funny to me.
Once they let Strom Thurmond into the Lucasfilm, I couldn't get rid of him.
Yeah. He knew Yoda back when Yoda was only 400. But
speculation here on my behalf, because I don't know, but if they're revamping the swoop bikes for the Knights of the Old Republic remake, a lot of people forget there's actually space combat in that game. It's not very good. Combat.
The gunnery stuff and everything, right? Like the mini games were the first thing I was like, because those are tough to do when you got a studio that's working on one type of combat. To develop 2 other gameplay loops just requires 2 other teams working on that. But now with multiple, because that there's like a core studio that's overseeing development, right? Almost like a producing house, right? And they're managing different teams in a less structured environment. That could make all that possible. They could, in the way that Battlefront 2 went and got other developers for the space combat after the first game. Why don't we get someone in here who's more more experienced with that sort of thing? It was a step up.
I would hope if you revamp one, you revamp the other. Like the Pazak plan doesn't need to be revamped, just modernize it a bit. But like the actual
more variety, though, not just do.
Agreed.
You remember the Matrix game that came out like back in 2003 around the same time, and it would have these mini games that were just the worst.
Is that the one almost like Xbox?
Yeah, it was on Xbox, and they would have these like shooting mini games or turret games, mini games, and it's like this isn't even remotely fun. The game's tedious enough. This is like 2 steps down the variety pack step. Like, just don't add it if it isn't enhancing the ability. But
Well, I'm like Zero, and I'm here to tell you guys that the Old Republic, about the KOTOR remake, has been canceled, and they're now remaking the Obi-Wan game that was exclusive to Xbox back in the day. It's going to be cell shaded,
but it's featuring Reva. It's featuring,
and it's all Reva all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Reva one.
Well, there's going to be a skin you could buy, and you could put the Obi-Wan beard onto Reva and pretend to be Obi-Wan if you want to, but you're still Reva. Just so you know, it's a bait and switch.
That's a gold.
Mm-hmm.
That game was terrible too, by the way.
Oh, it's a piece of shit. Work.
Oh man.
You know, I remember like my Xbox just locking up when I played it. I never finished it because eventually I just said, fuck this game. It just didn't work.
I'd love them to do, like, I know some people hate this idea, but like, let's do a pod racing game again with just like way more options and way
100%.
more vehicles and maps, and like it doesn't need to be like up here when a new game comes out. It's like $95 after tax. It's nuts. It doesn't need
they
like
need
a $95 game, but
Star Wars needs to utilize the AA or single A game space on consoles, not mobile. Like, there's a lot of stuff to be made with, you know, a $39.99 tiered pod racing game with extra tracks and courses in the same way that look at what Mario Kart 8 did in terms of sales over the lifetime. Like, they literally have the option to not just do racer, but do Star Wars racing, and just you got pods, plus you got swoops, then you got the T16, then you got the space raid, the Kessel runs. There's all sorts of stuff that's not kart based, right? But that gives you the vehicles and the cinematic arcadeness. There's that sort of thing, like at a budget level that's responsible to develop, that doesn't require 4 years of dev time. Yeah, there's a lot of missed opportunities there.
I've always wanted that. That's one of the, I mean, like, even like the pod race, the N64 game, they just put it out like last year. We have it on the Switch, and like, you know, it's still fun. It holds up barely, but there's no reason to not do something like that again, and just make it more expensive. I mean, even if it was just pods, just give me pods, you know, on.
Be fun to play online.
On Crate. I want to play on Crate. Give me, you know what I mean? Give me all of the planets that have been created for Star Wars. Back then they had to make up a bunch. But I mean, it would definitely be fun to do a next gen, or to play a next gen pod racer game. And I would be just all for just racing in general, like you were saying, Rob. Like, you know what I mean? In general, just different kinds of it. But I also am of the mind of do that one thing right, really, really good.
Yeah, do the one thing right, really, really well, and everyone will be on board for whatever else. It's the same thing with Super Star Wars. I just think the Super Star Wars format for the Mandalorian for all the movies is it's just like a no brainer to me. Like, why they aren't just utilizing that space? You know, that they like Star Wars anything. You know,
remember like when there was like Ninja Turtles came out? And like all those like 4-player arcade games just became huge.
Yep.
Like The Simpsons had one, and that was good and stuff, and Turtles and stuff. Like they've never done like a Star Wars one of that, and it's a fucking given. Like, it's just not that hard.
We had to find a way to make it canon, and we couldn't figure out a way that the mini chlorians could make everyone pixels. So we had to.
I empathize with where you're coming from now. Now I understand exactly what you mean. It's almost.
So that Squadrons game that came out, I only played it a couple of times. It was okay, but like, even it has online capabilities. There's no reason that you can't do a full-blown AA Star Wars pod racing game and throw online into it too. I'd get online with people and just race. It'd be fun.
Yeah, no. That game in VR is fucking the best. Like, in terms like that, if you ever get a chance to play it in VR, highly recommend it. It's the way to play that game. It's like And it's what's funny about it is like I owned it on my Xbox first. I was playing. I'm like, yeah, this is fun. What was it, $20 when it came out? So I'm like, this is cool. Not like a big commitment or whatever. And then I got it in VR. And when you play in VR, it's just like, then it's like a whole different thing. You know what I mean? Like you're like in the theme park, so to speak, at that point. It feels like you're on a ride at Disneyland the whole time and shit. And yeah, but it's dead now. It's hard to get a game in it now.
Yeah.
It's slowed down quite considerably because that happens.
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah. Well, like what happened was they had like a tier-based system for how good you were, and I was unfortunately very, very good at it and very into it. And when I would go to get on, and if it hasn't reset, it was hard to get a game because it would just couldn't match you with anybody or whatever. So
that's frustrating.
But I enjoyed it though. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I do. They seem to be really afraid of people like puking their guts out when it comes to VR stuff. I never even got. I only ever got kind of sick one time, and that's because I hadn't.
How do you
slept.
think we make the burgers, Jason?
I know, right?
Right? It makes them so good.
No. I mean, I only like
Say
one
something.
time I got queasy because I hadn't slept, and my friend wanted to play, and I'm like, yeah, I'll play, and I just wasn't up for it. I just didn't physically feel up to it. There
Dramamine,
we go,
Jason.
There we
Solves
go.
all your problems in
That
VR.
puts me to sleep.
I keep it right here.
I'll just
keep it right
sleep.
here.
I'll just sleep for 2 days.
Not in VR, you won't.
Yeah.
I've wanted to get VR for Resident Evil. I haven't played it, but I've heard incredible things about it. So
I'm too scared. I'll do Ghostbusters though.
That's a fair take. Scary is everything's scary in VR.
Yeah. It's just it's not like what was that one game? Phasmophobia. I think it's called Phasmophobia. I think that's what it's called. And it's just it's like haunting.
Ghostbusters like.
It's like you're like a ghost hunter, and you have to go in and it has like voice commands and stuff. And we got it, and it's fun. Me and my daughter take turns, and we like make it where you can see the VR screen on the TV, so we know what the other person's going through, and we can laugh at them. But it's just so much stress that like I just put it on, and I'm like, I can't do it, and I hand it to her, and then she goes and like, we can't do it. And then we've only played the fucking tutorial. We played it for like 12 hours. So anyways, that's why I never got Resident Evil. Yeah.
One of the coolest things I ever did I still have my original DK2 demo kit for Oculus, right? It's right out there. And this is 2014, 15-ish, right?
Okay.
And at the time, I haven't done it since, but they had just released Dolphin VR, which is like the GameCube emulator, but it was compatible with the Oculus. So I got it working, and then I put Wind Waker in there and got it so like the headset is the camera. And man, like when you're just the camera and you got your little action figures, man, your little Link, and he's crawling down the ladder, and you're like, it's like playing with toys. And why they keep focusing on I am the avatar and this is real, and not focusing on this is my cool fucking action figure set, in the way that forever I keep talking about a sandbox game where I could actually buy the retro Star Wars figures, lay all the toys out in VR, you know what I mean? And like have them attack and blow shit up and control them. Like, why you can't do all that, I don't know. Like Star Wars Lego in VR, where you're just the camera with VR on, would be fucking awesome. We blasters flying overhead and shit, like got your little Lego sets everywhere. You could take out your wand and knock shit over. Like, it's what the Wii was promising VR, but you could actually do it.
I bought my son this game that does make me probably would be my big critique against the Lego games. It's called Tiny Town, and it's not a big game, but it's a VR game, and it's sort of like you have these like little people, and people make mods for it, like on that you could get on Steam and stuff like that, and you're able just to make these giant dioramas and build things from the elements to make these huge scenes, and then you're able to put the VR headset on and go look at it. And it also seems like a huge no-brainer for Lego and that would be something that you can do in those games, but I also think that maybe if you can do that in VR, you wouldn't want to spend $350 on an R2D2. That was, maybe that's
No.
maybe that's their,
There'll be people who never use VR. There's just people who are never.
No, I understand. I'm just saying
it's not.
It would work
they don't
that way
want their
for
kids
me,
walking
but
around with I got 6 kids. I'm not buying 6 Oculus fucking Quest sets so they can all play Legos. Just here's your fucking blocks. Shut up.
But those kids
Like-
aren't getting. If you have 6 kids, they're not getting. They're not getting a Lego
They're getting
Millennium Falcon for
Duplos.
Christmas.
Yeah.
They're getting those Dollar Tree ones that kind of stick together weird at first. those Dollar Tree Legos, but
Yeah, we like to call them Kurtz bricks. So Kurtz blocks, yeah.
It'll never happen now, but I always thought it'd be cool if Star Wars did like a I don't know if you guys have played Heavy Rain, but like the story constantly changes depending on the decisions you make in the game.
Yeah.
Back and like redo whether it's the original trilogy or the prequels in the original trilogies, start from the beginning and have whatever characters you're playing as change the events of those movies going forward and see what story unfolds. It'll never happen now with the way they do things over at Lucasfilm, but it would have been fun to play through.
I could tell you this, Sean. My Kylo Ren is going to be very derpy as the product of Luke and Leia's incestual child. Look, you know what I mean? So I don't know if I got the strength.
Simple Ren.
My name is Simple Ren.
I love you. Like, all right. Time out, Ren.
I was Saber Ren.
This VR is fucking killing me. I gotta hold on. It's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tyrant. I'm thinking of Enter the Matrix. So
Enter the Matrix.
Yeah. Enter the Matrix. Path of Neo was supposed to be the one that the second one that fixed the problems with Enter the Matrix was the real bad one. It was just filled with these filler shooting levels that when I say shooting in like a flash, almost a flash animation, like on an Xbox, you're moving the controller, but it's just nothing to this. It's bullshit. Yeah, wasn't good.
I wonder if I should play through KOTOR on the Switch.
I'll tell you what, I love that game, and I'm playing through it on the Switch right now.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
I'm about 3 hours in, man, and I'll play through it, but like I also don't get too much free time. I know you don't either. So like picking it up for 20 minutes and then putting it down and then coming back 2 days later for half an hour, it's really hard to get into a rhythm. And like even with it on the Switch, I do think it looks better on it than the original Xbox. But like it's really hard to get into, even for me, and I love the game. So
I kind of feel like playing it now that we've been talking about it all night. So I might give it a whirl, and then tomorrow maybe talk about if I will continue to do it or just wait for the remake, because I keep going back and forth. I was hoping that my son was gonna be into it. That was sort of like where I was hoping that would be like the end, but he had just played Dragon Quest 10. Was 10 the last one?
Yep. 11.
11. Just played Dragon Quest 11, and then he was a little bit like, "This isn't cutting it for me." Yeah.
It's not even close.
Yeah, it's not fair.
It's not fair. Like,
but when you're 8, it all just came out today, and it's what's good is good, and what's not is not.
I've been waiting 2 years, and I'm 8.
Yeah. And then you know what that little punk did?
So
you know what he did? We played through all 9 and he walked away and he's done. He won't touch it anymore. The guy did it all. I'm like, there's like 50.
Missing.
But what's good is his sister didn't get to play a lot of the main movie stuff at that time. And now we're playing. Now she's playing all of the side quest stuff. And then we're redoing the movie stuff. So she's actually getting the better experience. And I think there's a lesson there.
You should be like, just for that, you got to play Zelda too.
Mm-hmm. I actually bought her. What do you call it? What's that last Zelda for the Switch?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild. I bought her Breath of the Wild because I'm like, you're gonna love this game, and but she always wants to play it with me, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna get to. We have Switch lights. We don't have a TV Switch. We had Xboxes, so I never bought a Switch.
This is how bad I am with like keeping up with games now. I have that game. I've had it for almost a year, and it still isn't opened.
Oh, really?
Completely sealed. I don't know. I find it really hard to get into games now. I enjoy playing with my kids, but like in terms of like playing with myself, it's just
I used to play with yourself.
pun not intended. But
By myself, Sean.
By myself. No.
One little word, you know.
Everyone should play with themselves. I fully endorse it.
I just like even
One
Jedi
player.
Fallen Order. I found like it. Like, don't be wrong, it looks fantastic, but like, I don't know. At times, it didn't really feel like I was playing a Star Wars game, and I got bored of it.
Mm. Did you ever finish it? Did you?
No, but like I've seen the cutscenes. I got like halfway through it, I think, and just
Yeah.
didn't get through it.
I just can't get past the actor. I didn't like him in. I don't like Gotham, and I really didn't like him as a Joker. I don't. He's a fine actor. I'm not.
Yeah.
His ability to act is fine. I can't deal with him.
Just not
Like,
your
just
casting.
can't.
It's not your casting.
And I was like, I just wish I could make my own character in Jedi Fallen Order, and I probably would have beaten it twice. You know,
Right.
I'm tired of seeing the same. Like, even if it was another Kevin Costner dude, I'd be just pissed off too. I'm like, there has to be something else. Can I play as what was it, Uriel Poof? Can I get like a Q-tip with a fucking wibbly wobbly head?
Are you playing Lego Star Wars at all? Do you deal with that shit at all, Rob, or no?
I'm playing Kirby right now, and I have a rule.
Okay.
I only play one game at a time.
But there's this part on one of the side quests in Lego Star Wars when you go to the Jedi Temple, and there's this kid, and he's like, someday I want to be as powerful. I can't remember the exact quote, but it's like, I want to be as powerful as Anakin Skywalker. I want to have the wisdom of Master Yoda. I want to be as famous as Yarl Poof.
I saw the broom kid where it hits him in the face. I was like, that's genius. Like,
Yeah.
So good. I'm very proud of him for
Good
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna call this one a show. Sean, thank you, man, for coming and dropping what you know about the game, dude. And
Fourth quarter 2023, PS5 and PC.
And then Fandom Empire, right?
Yep.
People should check it out. And if you like the scary stuff, it's good for the scary stuff and the Star Wars. So it's the best of both worlds, right?
And he actually likes us with the show. So this is rare. Like, thank you.
Yeah, I sneak in listen to the show. I have a wireless earbud that I wear while I'm driving the bus, and you guys put on a great show. And yeah, Phantom Empire. We just talk a lot of movie stuff, and we've been diving back into Star Wars recently. So
got the official Making Star Wars recommendation for horror films is The Greasy Strangler.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to completely change your life if you ever see it. I promise. Meaning that you probably won't ever talk to me again, but it's good nonetheless. I love it.
My favorite horror series is The Gate 1 and 2, and they were written by the guy who directed Midnight Madness. So.
Look, no eyeballs on my hands. I am clean. But that is a badass movie. That is a badass movie. The Gate. If you're a youngin and you've never seen The Gate, definitely watch that shit. It's fucking cool. It's
what our parents thought the Satanic Panic was really going to cause.
Yeah, and it bums me out because like I listen to all kinds of metal and nothing cool happened. It just made sure I didn't get laid a lot. So that's metal. But anyways, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, Sean. Dude, anytime you want to come hang out, man, just tell us, and you're definitely welcome to hang out with me, Ike Zero.
Sounds like a plan.
And me and Rob will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time talking about Star Wars.
All right, I do that again. I thought we washed our hands of it. All done to Kenobi.
Nope.
All done to the next trailer comes out, right? All right.
All right. Thanks to everyone who's a channel member, Patreon supporter, like the video and all that jazz. And if you're watching this on a replay, leave a comment and we'll answer it either in the comments or on the show. All right. Bye, everybody. Good night.
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
It's the end of the show.
Come on, let's go. Hey!
You know you should go.
Come on, let's go.
It's not about spaceships.